No, listen, you and Brent and I all forgot, so.
I was down at the plant greasing the units and forgot all about it. Oh, well.
It's okay. We've got a good agenda here, so let's get going. And are we good to go on that?
Yep.
Excellent, thank you. So I'm going to call this committee meeting of Bonnechere Valley to order on Tuesday, November 3rd at, I'm going to call it 1:15. We're not at the 1 o'clock mark, sorry about that. Are there any additions to the agenda? Seeing none. Can I get a mover to accept the agenda as presented, please? Moved by Merv. All in favor? Thank you. Is there any pecuniary interest or the general nature thereof? Seeing none. Can I get an approval of the minutes of the committee meeting held on October 20th, 2020, please? Moved by Brent. Any errors or omissions? Seeing none. All in favor? All right, and with that, Daryl is not joining us today, so if you have any questions with regard to his report, they'll have to wait until he's back. And with that, Jason, take it away.
Hello, everyone. I had an inquiry about our 1996 and our 2002 tandem plow truck.
Don't worry.
The parties would like to possibly put in some bids on this equipment. We've held the equipment over just to have some extra parts, but they've been sitting and we haven't been using any parts. So I feel that we can list them on either Kijiji or Marketplace or whatever the link is. So I'd like to surplus those pieces of equipment also.
Does anybody have any concerns about those? No, everybody's good. Okay, Jason, go ahead.
This month we've been busy replacing culverts, catch basin maintenance, and maintaining the vehicles, getting them ready for the winter.
You mean today?
You sure? What about tomorrow when it's plus 12? That'll be real. That's going to be nice. The bases for the flagpoles have been installed. There was some damaged pieces that came in for the poles, so we just received them. So hopefully, maybe this week we'll get them up and have them ready to go for next week.
As long as they're up for Remembrance Day, please.
Yes. A resident on Lake Clear has been I've been in contact with, and he has mentioned that the water levels have stabilized on Lake Clear to a level that he feels are manageable for the winter. Now, once we get everyone back, I plan on going in with the backhoe and opening up the dam a little more, just to make sure that everything is going to be good flow for the winter. I had some contact with the engineer on the bridge today. They are pouring the concrete sidewalks today. So they will be done today, the sidewalks. So that's a good step in the right direction. And then they can move ahead and put down the waterproofing on the deck and then pave.
So do you think that they will be done by November 5th, the new deadline?
I'm really hoping so. If everything goes good today, they should be in pretty good shape, I would think.
Is there any challenge in pouring concrete in this weather?
They've been heating the deck, making sure that it's, you know, above freezing temperature. Like I think it's the engineer, he believes he was around 10 degrees under the tarps, which is good.
That's great.
Well, and they switched to and I know they switched to their winter mix not long ago as well. So they started putting the additives back in the concrete as well, which is good.
Yes.
And the warmer weather at the end of the week looks like it'll be nice for the asphalt to go down. So
Yes.
Mhm.
Yes.
Okay, does anybody have anything further for Jason on his report or anything else? So, yeah, Merv, you and I are gonna speak to the same thing, so just let me get one thing done and then we'll move on and I'll turn it over to
And
you.
I've got a sec.
Okay,
Yeah, okay.
so Jason, our first snowfall or semi-significant in Foymount. I know I woke up to 3 inches of snow this morning. I can't even imagine what the hamlet looks like. But I did get my first complaint about it not being plowed, and there was an issue with the school bus. So if we could just keep our eye on this very weird weather, and I get what you're saying. I mean, it is supposed to go back up and be quite nice weather for the next couple of weeks. But we really do have to keep an eye out for our residents in Foymount, because obviously it's like a whole different country up there when you're talking about precipitation. So just, I promised the person that reached out that I would get in touch with you. And I'm sure there are a lot of people that were frustrated this morning when they woke up with no snow tires on to find that they had 3 inches of snow or 5 inches of snow in their yard.
Yes.
So thank you. All right, Merv, I'm going to turn this over to you.
I've got a couple. And one is, I think Jason has been dealing with Tranquility Bay. You're aware of that, Jason? Problems there?
Yes, Merv. Yes.
I've been dealing with that back since August, but I was dealing with a different person, and we had several discussions. And one of the proposals I'd put forward at that time was that each of the 14 members throw $100 or $200 into a pot and offer that to the First Nations to keep the road and see if that would solve the problem. And they obviously had another meeting, and I don't know whether the residents didn't agree with it or what, but I haven't heard back from the lady. And after I seen this letter, I tried to get in touch with her last night. So I don't know what happened, whether they offered it and the First Nations rejected it, or whether they couldn't agree on a pot to put forward in good faith to help them. So I don't know what's going on there. I do know that there are other, even summertime problems, because a few meetings ago, Dave was talking about access to private roads, and one of the ones he talked about is Tranquility Bay Road. That's an awful ugly hill there. He may even want to go down there in the summertime with the fire truck. So I don't know what the solution is. If you got any ideas?
Well, the railway bed is an option, but the snowmobile club has it under the contract, right? So.
But the snowmobile club doesn't go the railroad track to the reserve. They leave the railroad track at Tranquility Bay Road and cross over Ruby Road and do a circle around and come back at the bridge in Golden Lake. They don't use that part of Tranquility Bay. The railroad from Tranquility Bay Road into the reserve. They don't use that. The reserve has stopped them from doing that a number of years ago. They go when they get on the rail track, when they get to the Tranquility Bay Road, they turn right or head south, if you will, and go out. They've nothing to do with that piece.
No. I'm talking from Zotto Road
to. That's come up again. Yeah, no. I was talking about going on the reserve. That has come up again. I kind of poo-pooed that one. Yes. It's narrow. There's no place to meet. There's snowmobiles on it.
That's right. It becomes what
happened with the discussions with the reserve.
I have no idea, Merv. I have contacted the work supervisor there, and I'm just waiting for a phone call back.
So I spoke
about the 1st of October. So I've had no contact. Like I put this suggestion forward, nobody got back to me. Everything went dead. So I thought they'd made a deal with the reserve to use the road.
I spoke, Merv, to all of council. I spoke with Chief Jocko yesterday. They did vote in favor of keeping the gate closed. I asked if there was any compromise that we could come to. And as we stand right now, she and I sort of agreed that our public works directors should be in contact and see if there's something that their public works director could take to the band council that would be a little more palatable. And so I think that if Jason and David could get together and have a meeting, perhaps this can be rectified before the weather gets too bad.
Okay.
But Jay, as soon as you know of what meeting is going to transpire, could you send us out an email through Annette,
Yes.
just to keep us in the loop, because this is an emergency services problem and challenge. Obviously, Chief Jocko completely understands that. I agree with Merv. I don't know if I'd want to take a fire truck up that hill in the summertime, and certainly no paramedic vehicle. I don't think that I'm not sure if they make it up at either, although they're a little smaller, but it is an emergency services concern, in my opinion.
Yes.
So yeah, if you could make that meeting happen sooner rather than later, that would be great.
Okay. Next subject, Jason, on Resto Road.
Yes.
One Sunday, I don't know if it was the last of September or October, I just, after church, decided to tour Resto Road, and it was when the roller was parked as though it had just been delivered on the side of Resto Road, and I experienced like fresh spread gravel. But when I drove over it, the car vibrated and rumbled like it was all stone. So, but I thought maybe it was just the limestone gravel. But anyway, I didn't pay too much attention to it. And then my telephone started lighting up. Apparently it was all stone that was spread there. And the kind of the sequence of events went like this, that it was all stone. You tried the grader and it wouldn't solve the problem. You tried rolling it and it wouldn't solve the problem. So you tried picking it up and you picked most of it up. However, the wheels, the last time I went over there, the wheel tracks have no stone in it, but if you veered off them either way, they'd have stone in them. And I'm just worried our next complaints were for chip paint jobs or broken windshields with the stone. What happened there anyway?
The stone segregated from the fines. So I had the contractor come back and we windrowed it up and they picked it up. And it's since been regraded again, Merv. So it's quite a lot better.
But did we pay for it, or did they pay for the roller, or did they
paid for the roller? They paid for the roller, and
Okay.
they picked it up all the clear stone for free.
Okay. That's what I was wondering. Yeah. And as far as further what's left there, we can't do anything about that. It's kind of just got to wear its way off, right?
Yeah, we're going to be grading it again and making sure that we can try and get it mixed in a little better.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. If you can grade it, I suspect it's frosted. There were some pretty good potholes a couple of places too, and they're only going to get worse for spring.
We actually graded that before deer season, Merv.
Okay. Well, I haven't been there for a week or more. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. Thanks a lot.
Okay. No problem.
All right. Do we have anything further for Jason? Seeing none. Okay, Jay. Well, we've given you some action items there. Thank you.
No problem. Have a good week, everyone.
Thank you.
Too.
If you're going hunting, shoot straight.
All right, rolling right along. The Chief's on. See, Tim, we're gonna make this work. All right, Chief, over to you.
Okay, hello, everybody. So of note from my report, I've got a few things that I want to discuss. First being that good news that we have two outside departments that have opted to purchase some of our surplus communications equipment, which is good. Horton Township and Greater Madawaska did, so that certainly helps offset a little bit of the costs, for our radio upgrade. I have two people right now this week down in Port Hope at OPG doing a drone certification course. At the end of it, they'll be level 2. They'll have level 2 certification as drone pilots. So we'll be able to utilize them, for possibly out of sight line drone flying as well. So that's something that will definitely something that we wanted to to make happen. And this is the third, like I was saying before, this is the third kick at the can trying to make this happen because COVID's shut down the courses up until now. So I'm happy that that's happened. Moving along to the VFIS Member and Family Assistance Program. I'm not sure if I discussed this before after we had implemented this. This is something that was found through the mayor and the CAO did some digging through VFIS, which is our insurance. I never knew in all the years that they actually were able to offer something like this. It never came up, and they've never emailed to offer it before. What it is, it's a program to deal with critical stress and PTSD and a whole host of different things that is now offered to our staff and our staff's families. So it's a pretty incredible program. There's a lot of things and very reasonably priced as well. I think, Annette, it was about $20 a person per year, around there.
Yeah, it's $25 per provider. Yeah, that's good.
Right, and it's 24/7 support, 7 days a week. So I think it was a wise investment right now, especially trying to deal with PTSD and critical incident stress. It's difficult right now to be able to find face-to-face coaches or something that's affordable for the township for a large number of employees. So I think that that was an excellent program to get involved in and to keep going forward with it for sure. I also wanted to talk about so the Fire Marshal's Teleconference. I'm not sure if anybody had a chance to read through here, but there's a couple of highlights that I wanted to go over. Sorry. So staffing levels. This is geared. These teleconferences are geared to the entire fire service in Ontario. So there's a lot of full-time unionized stuff that comes up as well. But masks and stations came up, and the guidance from the province now, or for the fire marshal's office, is that you don't necessarily, even though it's a workplace, you don't necessarily have to wear a mask inside a fire hall if you can physically distance. That's assuming that your fire hall is not open to the public. So traditionally our halls, especially Station 2, is not open to the public, and traditionally we have kept Station 1's fire hall not open to the public. It's like a restricted space. So it's something that I haven't really brought up to our members because our people have gotten used to wearing masks, and we have a lot of them. And I think they seem to be more comfortable, I don't know if I want to put that option out at this point, especially with the numbers in the province that keep going up and up. The staff members seem to be comfortable with it. So I'm going to, we'll just keep the status quo for now, and we'll see what happens moving forward. It's one of those touchy ones where some people are very conscious of it and some aren't. And I would rather just keep the blanket policy, keep the masks on while we're inside. Protective equipment, we're doing very well in keeping our PPE up, our masks, our gloves, our hand sanitizer. I found that Staples has been excellent at keeping stuff in stock, and I've been ordering it, and it's been relatively cheap. So I'm happy with that. So priority testing, way back a couple of months ago, the province had stated that first responders were going to be prioritized in the testing procedures if there was a suspected exposure to COVID. That's been bumped, and now we're back. We're now in the by appointment only group as well. So everybody in the province has sort of been lumped into the by appointment only because of the system's been overwhelmed. So I've let our people know that if there's any chance at all to get within the active phase of the virus or the incubation period, to make sure that they get in and get tested. So we've had very, very little issues. So I think we've been lucky. Moving on, the communique. So fire department training facilities, although the province has now opened up training facilities to fire staff, hence two of my guys are gone for the week at OPG. They've still kept the college closed. So I'm not sure why they're allowing other facilities to open up and they stay closed. That's something that's, I guess we'll find out eventually down the road. But I am glad that they have removed restrictions. So we've had people that have wanted to go to outside training for all year, basically for quite some time. And I'm glad that we're able to find it and send people there. So I'm happy with that. Another thing with the border shutdown, and I know we've talked about this before, but I've gotten lots of phone calls from people on private roads going to go in and assess their private roads. And I think it's because there's a lot of people that are now, the snowbirds are actually staying at their cottages this year. So people are now, this is sort of the first time that they're kind of aware of, they're not generally here during the winter. Now they're going to be. So now they're thinking about accessibility. And it's been good. I've been out quite a bit talking to people and giving some advice, and people seem to be really happy about that. So, but I have a feeling we're gonna have a lot more people in our township over this winter than normal, just because of that. So, yeah, and apart from that, everything else seems to be going along just fine. I am waiting on a few things that we've purchased that have had to come out of the States. And it's just been a long, slow process trying to get anything across the border. So I do have some budgetary things that I haven't paid for yet, but I will have to pay for. And I'm hoping everything will be here before the end of the year. And we'll end the year clean and not have anything outstanding. Other than that, that's everything for me.
I think, I've always thought that you or a designate going out and when asked to go and check private roads to see viability of getting apparatus in and out. I've always thought that was an excellent program, but never like this year. I mean, this year, you're absolutely correct. Obviously people are not going.
Sometimes I amaze myself.
Sorry, decided to announce herself. But I think that, more than any other year, I'm glad I gave you guys a laugh. More than any other year, I think, people they're winterizing their cottages if they haven't been winterized, and they're making plans to stay, in anticipation that they won't be able to go south at all this winter. So I really applaud you and your team for providing this as a service to those that want it. Did anybody have anything for the chief? Seeing none. Okay, Thanks, chief.
And Annette, you got that email I just sent you?
Yes, I did receive it.
Okay. That's it for me. Thank you.
Bye. All right. And we are ahead of schedule. Annette, take it away.
Thank you. So originally we were going to do some information from the organizational review, and the library was going to report, but they have contacted and rescheduled a meeting for Tuesday with council, and then coming forward at the next council meeting. So that we didn't fall behind on some of our reporting on the organizational review, I got together with Sandra and we sort of picked out some of our stuff that we still have to report on, because we've got quite a few, and we could have added a whole bunch more, but we knew that there were some hunters out there who wanted to get in the evening hunt, so didn't want this meeting to go too long. So we just picked one section to report on. So I'll go ahead and report on it. And Sandra, if you want to add anything at the end, let me know. I picked HR to start our reporting on. So some of the recommendations were a succession plan policy. So to sort of invest in cross-training employees and have a look at and monitor, what positions are coming available, who is cross-trained to be able to assist in those positions. So what our actions going forward that we came up with was that myself, I will be meeting with HR Director Bruce Beakley for the County of Renfrew, I know the County of Renfrew has a similar policy, and so maybe just having a review over that policy and having a discussion with Bruce if I have any questions on that policy. He's fairly helpful to the township and free of charge most of the time, unless you need a whole bunch of hours from him, but I don't suspect that phone call would take too long. And sort of see how it can fit into the township. We may have additional needs, or there may be stuff in there that we don't need, so we may be able to trim the policy, but sort of having a review and bringing that forward to council sometime in 2021. Any questions on that first one? Okay. The next one is sort of a corporate, they kind of piggyback on one another, a corporate cross-training strategy for all staff. That sort of bleeds into our succession planning best practices and any budgeting, of course, because sometimes there might be training courses that are available that certain people should be taking throughout the year. So that's just something to keep looking. So similar to the above, sort of working with our policy to address those cross-training needs and review them on an annual basis. So when we're doing budget, you're not going to budget for everything one year. You're going to kind of go, okay, which one's our priority? And those are the ones that we'll deal with. And then going down the line, if we have a year where it doesn't look like we're spending a whole lot of money this year on training, but there was sort of a couple of employees we were looking at additional training for that may not be needed for, 5 years down the road, but if we don't have anything else that really needs the budget dollars, just to keep it consistent for the ratepayers and to keep the training up and coming. So that one there. Anything else? An annual client service training day. So I think that this came out of, I think that the report from Wayfinders did say that, our staff was very well at responding to any inquiries, any information, any requests. If you needed something, we'll bend over backwards to try to get it for you. So in their opinion, they also felt that our information flow was better than any other municipalities that they'd seen between the website, Facebook, the newsletters, the Ask Mayor Murphy, the YouTube, all of these kinds of things. So I think their comment was, we don't really know what else you could do. We don't have a recommendation for you to say, you should also be doing this or also be doing that. They felt that we really were, exemplifying ourselves in this area. But even though we were doing that, I do realize that the survey came in as people were feeling that they wanted more. So, that's definitely something that I'm willing to work on, willing to take a client service training day. And again, I don't generally like to call our ratepayers clients. They're citizens. They're really owners of the community. They're not coming here to buy, certain products from us. They are the products, and we're trying to do the best we can to bring a level of service to them. So yeah, go ahead with the workshop. It doesn't hurt to review it again, even if you think you're doing an excellent job, to see are there areas we can improve on. And maybe we're going to take a workshop and we're going to go, you know what, this is proving to us that we are doing all of these things the way we should be doing. And if that's all that ends up coming out of that training, I think that's still worth it to let the staff know you guys really are doing a great job.
So Annette, to that point, I also think of our ratepayers as customers. They pay their taxes and they expect a level of service. And although Wayfinders did find that we were above the curve when it comes to communication, maybe it's communicating how we get our communication out. I know that sounds silly, but I'll just give you an example. So the newsletter came out. I didn't get a copy of it. And this happened the last time. I don't think Jack got one either. Jack, did you get one this time?
Yes, I got one this time.
You did? Okay, I did not. So interesting. But again, maybe it's about communicating how we communicate. Maybe something in the tax bill that says, here are the resources, just as a friendly nudge. But yeah, absolutely. I like the idea of a workshop.
For sure. Okay. So yeah, so I can definitely look into that and see if there's something ongoing in 2021. You know, depending again on budgets and training that's required. You know, definitely fill that in. But that'll be one of our priority training sessions that we're working on. The next part was sort of, you know, have a review and a proactive employee review policy and process. So I did meet with all of the employees here at the office and administration and all of the department heads in June, because I'm a strong believer in meeting with people in June and sort of setting your expectations and discussing what the issues are, so that when you sit down in December to do your overall review of the year, they already know sort of what the expectations were that you had, and sometimes they exceed them and sometimes they meet them, and sometimes you have challenges that come up that, geez, I really wanted to get that done this year, but here's why I didn't get it done. But at least everyone knows where they stand and also what assistance they need from me. So I like to have that conversation in June, and then again in December or January when the year is over, to say, here's how we did, here's what we wanted to accomplish, and here's how we did. I feel that's a good conversation to have. And I do use the situational leadership practices. So I did take some workshops on that, and I do find that really helpful, because it sort of deals with how much direction you need, what expectations you have, and it pulls not only from the job description, but also from key deliverables for the municipality and what we're looking for in that position. So, you know, communication and teamwork and stuff like that. So you might be doing everything that's in your job description and getting the duties done, but are you exceeding and doing well in communicating with your staff and being a team player and stuff like that. So that is already being done this year. I've already did stage 1 in June, so I will finish that in December. And the job descriptions, yes, the job descriptions are, I think they're 2012, a lot of them. A few of them have been done since then. So I am working on getting 2 things. One, on getting a quote to do a job evaluation and a pay equity review from someone who also trains you on it, so you can do it in the future. So we'd have to pay for it once, but it would keep giving. And as well, I think 4 other municipalities are getting together with Bruce Beakley next week on Wednesday, I think. Could be I think it's the following week, sorry, because next Wednesday is Remembrance Day. So the following Wednesday, we are getting together with him and through Zoom, and we will be looking at training to do the job evaluations and the pay equity portion ourselves. So that's definitely something that the county's offered, and that's definitely part of that modernization, you know, work together. So if we can all work together and have the same model and help each other and get through this, and something that we can do at no cost, because it should be done in 2021. That's definitely something that we're looking at as a shared service. So I have that meeting already scheduled. And before I get on to the last one, any other questions on those?
Anyone? No, I think this, go ahead, Murph.
I don't have questions, but I have comments, and I strongly believe in training in it, and I presume you do as well. None of us were ever born with the skills we've learned over the years, and nothing is worse than an employee being tied in a dead-end job for years and years. And I've not only cross-training internally, but external training. As much as I would hate to lose any of our employees, I would sure like to offer them, if they had an opportunity in another municipality to better themselves, God help them, I'd be right there to help them. And I believe in external training as well as cross-training.
Thanks. The last one from HR was a discussion where they felt that the deputy CAO should be appointed as the treasurer, and the CAO be appointed as the deputy treasurer on an as-needed treasurer duties. So they were feeling that the CAO would remain as clerk, and that the deputy CAO would be deputy clerk for an as-needed clerk duty. So I think they were thinking of splitting those up. And Sandra and I did talk about this. She is willing to take on well, we say extra responsibility, but really Sandra and I work together very, very well, very closely. So I don't know how much it will change the day to day. So I will leave that to council to discuss. If that's a recommendation you want to move forward with, Sandra is willing to take on that responsibility. I have no issue giving it up, and we will continue to work together and support you 100% together. So yeah, if you, maybe you don't want to talk about that in a public meeting. And then Sandra, I'm not trying to put you on the spot either, but yeah, that was sort of the recommendation that came through the organizational review. And, you know, I understand they're trying to spread responsibilities, but we do that in-house as well. So, and Sandra's a great support, and I don't think we'd be adding really to her tasks, but perhaps to her actual overall responsibility, which she's more than capable of handling. So,
Well, I think that recommendation came out of what's on paper, right? So what your actual titles are, as opposed to the relationship that you two have and sort of splitting up duties as required. But I personally, when I read that recommendation, my one question was going to be, is Sandra, you know, or Sandra's successor, or, you know, is that something that is a good recommendation for Bonnechere Valley? Sounds to me like it is, but I will open it up to the rest of council. Any questions, concerns, comments? All right. So
I think the only thing it might help you with is if you're ever searching again for another CAO, if you find someone, there may be candidates out there that are incredible CAOs but don't have a treasury background. So, you know, that could save you in the future, or yeah, so.
that's kind of the way I read it as well, Annette. So yeah, you put a pin in it. There you go. All right. So anything else on the HR portion of the organizational review? Anything else for Annette? You know, once again, as I said at the last meeting with Dana, I'm really happy to know that this organizational review is being used properly, proving out that we use the money in a good way. You know, this grant from the province, but as we all know, there's only one taxpayer. And, you know, I'm happy to see things coming out of it, that it's not one of these reports that we get and it sits on a shelf and nobody actions anything. So, you know, I know you had a senior leadership team meeting. You're following the majority, I think, especially in HR, of all the recommendations that they gave. So, you know, thanks again to Wayfinders for being so good with us and really citing things that are required in Bonnechere Valley to make us a little more efficient. So that's great. Thank you. All right. So where are we? If there's nothing else on reports, is there anything on correspondence? I see nothing on correspondence. I think that we've really, most of these things, except for maybe the Blue Box transition schedule, but that was just for information. A lot of these things we've supported or not supported in the past. So certainly I see a few that have been on our agenda in previous meetings. All right, if there's nothing on correspondence, I'm going to move on to my County of Renfrew update. So excellent meeting last week. We had a delegation giving us an update on the land treaty. I can't even imagine how some of these band councils and communities across Canada are feeling about this. It's just gone on ad nauseum. They gave us a review out to 2023. I think Annette sent you the latest information on the land treaty. I find it very frustrating that it's not moving as quickly as I thought it would years ago when we were talking about the lands that were in our communities. I'm happy to report that Highway 512 is almost complete. It's quite frankly, they did an amazing job. I'm sure that Tim really appreciates it. It's wider and it's non-potholey, and they've realigned it. So if you get an opportunity, come on out and see what our Renfrew County dollars paid for out here. Again, Renfrew County Virtual Triage and Assessment Center at the core of our lobbying efforts, obviously with the province. We want to keep this. We want to keep it 100% funded. To that end, Dr. Mary Lee Fullerton, Minister of Long-Term Care, was here in Renfrew last Friday with us, announcing a $5 million program to continue community paramedicine in 5 counties or locations, I guess regions in Ontario. And of course, Renfrew County is one of them. So very exciting news. It's always wonderful to have Minister Fullerton here. Minister Yakubuski was with us, and we got a few minutes ahead of time to have a snack and just talk about the state of the world. And I thanked both of them on behalf of all of us for all of their hard work through COVID, knowing that they're all probably exhausted. Again, to that, most of the reports that we got were COVID updates. Again, sort of frustrating. You go to committee, and then you go to another committee, and then by the time you get to county council, those updates are really obsolete. Like I'm sure our staff is so frustrated trying to keep up with the day-to-day changes that are coming from the province and the feds. And of course, again, today our numbers rose, and that's very frustrating. I did just have a win, and I'd like to share it with you. I'm going to pick up my iPad here. One of the things that's been really, really, really frustrating is that the health unit has been lumping Bon Cher Valley in, or Eganville as they say, with the Pembroke numbers. And so I sent a formal request, and I believe Kathy Regular, the Reeve of Whitewater, also did, because Cobden's numbers were in with Pembroke as well. And I think it was giving people sort of a false sense of security. So now we were given the note that it was a bit of a privacy issue. None of us could figure out why it was a privacy issue. We weren't giving out names. But as recently as 5 minutes ago, I just got a map of the county of Renfrew, and it's got a grid, and I can tell you that Bon Cher Valley is in the 1 to 4 cases of the color grid. So thank you to the Renfrew County Health Unit for making that happen, because it is something that people have been reaching out to me about a lot. So I think this is fantastic. Certainly will help track our cases. So thank you to them for listening. That is great. And I love the timeliness of it. I'm going to move on here from the county, unless anybody had anything about the county. Any questions? Yes, Tim.
Just one thing, back to the roads there with 512 going through. It's so great to see that it's happened now. That not only is it the safety deal, when we're on that road, and you would know, Jen, how many times we've seen accidents right out ahead of your place, using that road all the time. So, it's really good to see that it's finished and up to pretty good standards now. Is there a way for us to kind of give a little shove in the future for any of the county roads that are in Bon Cher Valley to bring them up to standards? Because my gosh, that's been a long time since I think 512 has been. I'm just trying to think of all the county roads we have within our municipality. Ruby Road, which isn't in too bad a shape right now. Upiongo Road has been redone, and 512 is one of the the few that is left on the chopping block, so to speak. So is there a way, like I say, in the future that we could kind of get things kickstarted to keep them up to par, so to speak?
So Tim, much like our own municipality, the County of Renfrew has a long-term asset management plan and financial plan. And that plan is out, I believe now about 10 years. And so to answer your question, we have a list of roads that need to be done, but much like us, if we note that one road has deteriorated beyond another road, we have in fact changed up projects. So I believe that we did the change up of Bon Cher Lodge to was it Gorman, Merv?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think they are, the county roads and our engineers are very cognizant of it. I will tell you that sitting at the County of Renfrew, I do not only speak for Bonnechere Valley, I am there as a county councillor. And so I have to be very careful, but don't you worry. I always put my 2 cents in. You know how shy I am, right? Yeah. So yes, I absolutely, yes, we give a nudge. But Tim, what I am going to do is I'm going to make a note. I'm going to send to, I have to send a thank you note. For dealing so well with Dave and I trying to get in and out of here because we weren't at a flag person. So our laneway was in between flag people. And so it was quite dangerous when we were limited to 1 lane trying to get in and out. And they were really, really, really helpful making sure they were walking to the flag people. But I'm going to pass on your thanks as a truck driver. And I think
absolutely. Rounding those corners and stuff with the road falling off. Most of the times I prefer not to have mirrors because if I was watching my load shifting, it almost got scary on it. It was to that point where, yeah, it definitely could have been done years ago.
Especially coming westbound, right at the Whitkey Road turn, that got really dicey before this construction. But it was funny. My dad was here last week and he's like, it doesn't feel much wider to me. And I'm like,
no, it's definitely good. And then if anybody asks on our end that the projection to finish the rest of the 512 then is to be done next summer, I believe.
The second phase is going to be done next year. Yes. I'm not sure about summer. It might be the same timeline into the fall. I'm not exactly sure, but I will find out. Okay.
Yeah, for sure. Thanks.
All right. So,
Tim?
yes, Murph, go ahead.
A comment, Tim, about the Ruby Road. It's in pretty good shape, except for the backing bump, which has been replaced 3 times, if you're traveling Ruby Road.
Yes,
And
for sure.
The other problem, and we're going to have to look at again, is on the Cormac Road, that what we call the frog pond turn there that keeps sinking to the right. I follow trucks over there and they look like they're going to fall over. So we got to look at that again some year to raise it up. It's been sinking since I was there in 1962 and 63, since we built the thing.
I've never noticed that before, Merv, until like 3 weeks ago. And I was behind a truck and I watched it happen and I went around it.
Yeah.
All right. So great news. I hope everybody saw that our municipal partnership fund is staying intact for 2021. This is exceptional news for Bonnechere Valley. We are staying at our 1.5, help me out, Annette, I don't have the exact number in front of me, around 1.5 million. This, of course, is so important to keeping our levy intact. I am so thankful to the province that they haven't scrapped this particular fund because it is very important for our residents. And oh, thank you, Sandra. 1.531 million. So that is, what's that, Merv?
1.531 million, you said.
Yep. So, there are a lot of factors that feed into this. I think one of them, and it's something that our organizational review proved out, that debt is not always a bad thing. Sometimes debt actually helps in receiving monies through other programs. And in fact, they also talked about how our debt reduction was going to work. So again, very timely. And the last thing on my docket is that Annette and I are going to go out on Friday. I guess we'll do an Ask Mayor Murphy, maybe from the bridge if the bridge is open. But the other thing is we're going to test out the link from the Legion for Remembrance Day for our live feed. So I hope everybody will join us via YouTube next Wednesday at 10 to 11, maybe quarter to 11 on the Bonnechere Valley YouTube channel. So that's wonderful. And I hope that lots of people join us. And Annette, if we could get Dana to put that on our website and our Facebook page, please. Thank you. I know it's in the newsletter. I saw the photo of the newsletter even though I didn't get one. All right, did anybody have anything else for me? It's, you know, I keep saying to Annette, it's pretty funny that I'm busier now than I was before COVID. I think it's because they can get a hold of me a little easier now. They know exactly where I am at all times, right here. All right, and so that's all for me. There's a tax adjustment. That's for this evening. There's a resolution and the letter of understanding with North Algona Wilberforce. Did anybody have anything on that letter? No. All right. Well, look at that, Tim. I'm getting you out of here at about 5 after 2. You're welcome.
I'm not the only hunter in the room here.
I know you're not. I'm just teasing
Just
you.
a suggestion. See, Jack is giggling and Merv's are you heading out this afternoon too, Merv, or are you done for the day?
Oh, yes, but I got to be back for 5:30 though.
Yes. See, and myself too. But like I say, I might just see if we get continuity in the blind, and I'll see what we can do for a time from there and back or not. So
Sounds good. I've got to ask, Jack, is that a Christmas tree behind you?
I thought I seen that.
Yes, it is.
Oh my gosh, there are 2 of them.
There's 2 of them, see?
Okay.
So you're the reason it snowed. You're the reason it snowed. You gotta stop putting up the
Yes.
decorations.
Yeah.
Hey, yes. If anybody's
Let's-
couldn't get around and find out this morning, it's Jack's fault because he has his Christmas decoration.
That's right.
Yeah.
Way to go, Jack. I guess you got your snow tires on too, right?
Have what? Sorry?
Your snow tires on.
Yeah, my snow tires. Yeah, they've been on a long time ago.
All right, guys. So our next meeting date is November
Pick a number.
20th,
supposed to be the
17.
17,
17th.
17th, but we'll go with the 20th.
Thanks, Sandra.
20th is fine.
I don't have a
24th, whichever day you want. No, 17.
Okay, but remember all, we do have a meeting with the library next Tuesday at 1 o'clock. Sorry again to anybody that was trying to get on our YouTube at 1 o'clock to watch us and then we weren't there. We had a little glitch. If the media wants anything, they know where to find us. We have no closed session, and can I get an adjournment, please? Moved by Tim, no kidding. All in favor? Thanks, guys. We'll see you at 5:30.
Tim, my problem of afraid of shooting one, as far as I was concerned, we had enough venison already without shooting some more. So